This entire area is worthy of protection. Every Nova Scotian should have that mindset. How are we going to protect this? How are we going to keep it clean and pristine? And how are the stories going to continue to be told for future generations?
UINR's Clifford Paul is leading a group of Mi'kmaq youth on a walk in Nova Scotia's first Indigenous protected and conserved area, the Kluskap IPCA. IPCAs are areas that are identified and governed by Indigenous people to protect ecological and cultural features of the land. In Mi'kmaq, IPCAs are determined by the Mi'kmaq. They are important places to reconnect with land, sea, sky, and spirit. And they teach us how to live in harmony with nature.
What I love about this trail, it's wild. We're not walking on a groomed trail. We got roots and rocks. I would say that's the best way to keep a trail.
Protected areas tend to traditionally, well, in a Western perspective, exclude people from the land, whereas Indigenous people believe that in order to preserve land and steward the land, that you have to be part of that equation. You can't remove yourself from that. We don't distinguish one parcel of land being more important than another. The idea of protected areas in a modern day context and a Western context is not really consistent with Indigenous perspectives that all lands are important.
Take a good look at the trees. So everybody look up. See all the trees, right? Now it's Charlie Labrador who says they don't care who their neighbor is. The trees stand tall and proud with each other. And if you take a very close look at them, at the root level, they're holding hands. It was the University of British Columbia, they researched the trees about 6-7 years ago. And they found out that the trees actually communicate, that they speak to one another where they're holding hands at the root level. There's a fungal network which connects all these trees. And that they send information to each other in the form of sugars and other nutrients. So if I was a birch tree further down and insects were coming or I lost a big branch, the other trees will say, hey, Clifford Birch is not doing well. We will send him food. We'll send him sugars and nutrients. As humans, we're supposed to be doing that. Help each other out. So that's a story of science catching up to Mi'kmaq teachings. Ancient Mi'kmaq teachings, science finally caught up to that. And in the 2ICN model, there we have a traditional story as told by Elder Chief Charlie Labrador, and we have a science story told by the University of British Columbia.
IPCAs provide an opportunity to explore what Indigenous-led conservation looks like. When I say Indigenous-led, it means that Indigenous understandings, values, belief systems, laws, and governance are at the forefront and are informing the approach we take. It's given an opportunity for our communities to get back on the land, to reacquaint themselves with lands that they've been previously dispossessed from.
You know, when you're learning about your culture, you're asking a lot of questions. Sometimes there's no immediate answer. Sometimes stories take decades to come together. And my interpretation is just one of hundreds. So what I tell you is the knowledge that has been a part of upon me and I share. And there's knowledge keepers that tell you stories that might come with different details but contain the same theme.
The first IPCA that was created was in Unama'ki, and it was at the Kluskap Wilderness area, because our communities recognize this space not only for its biodiversity, but also because it is a space of significant spiritual and cultural importance for the Mi'kmaq.
Welcome to the center of the universe.
Culture and language are at the heart and soul of every IPCA. Kluskap IPCA is a sacred area based on the legends of Kluskap, an important teacher to the Mi'kmaq. Kluskap's cave, the basis of this IPCA, is considered to be the center of the universe.
This is where Kluskap lived with his mother. And one day Kluskap was out on his canoe. And while he was out there, two maidens came to the shoreline and they were teasing him while he was out doing his thing. He was getting irritated and he says, "You better stop." And they persisted, so he got mad. He jumped up in the air, landed on his canoe. It turned to stone. That is the Bird Islands right now. If you look at the Bird Islands on a satellite map, it looks like an ocean-going canoe split in two pieces. And he turned the maidens into stone. And there's one of them right over there. That curve is her jaw. There's an indentation, that's her lips. There's her nose, her forehead, and her bonnet. So that profile is one of our maidens. And there's another one over there further in that you have to pretty well swim to get to. Historically, these places have significance to the Aboriginal people and for the Mi'kmaq people. I know this is one, but there's many, many areas. Let's start with this. Let's preserve and protect this. Let's share the stories, show true stewardship, because that's what it's all about. It's not just words, it's actions. We don't have enforcement to protect this, so my best tool is education. The best actions is to bring the kids here to approach this place with good intentions and love in their hearts, to respect Mother Earth and all the gifts within. I think that's more important.
Nova Scotia has committed to protect 20% of the province's lands and waters by 2030. The Mi'kmaq are identifying potential IPCAs throughout the province to help meet this target. Working with all levels of government and community members, we are leading the way to protect a way of life and all our relations.